So I was doing some research about Japan. I read about this thing called the Mongol invasion of Japan. I guess a lot of people died. It sounds like a very horrific event to witness. Sounds like a wonderful video game idea. Ghost of Tsushima was released in 2020 on the PS4 and later released on the PS5. The game's developer Sucker Punch said that they wanted to make an authentic game about Japanese culture and decided to base it around the Mongol invasion of Japan. I don't know much about Japanese culture, so I can't fully comment on the accuracy of the culture that the game represents. But from what I do know, it does seem to be fairly well constructed. Things like the architecture and outfits seem to be pretty accurate for the time. But once again, I don't know much about Japanese culture, so I could be wrong. Usually I start out with the story, but I just need to gush about the graphics and locations before I start. Ghost of Tsushima is full of so many beautiful places. Things like the Golden Forest or the Field of Equinox flowers are genuinely so visually pleasing to look at. Along with the lighting and shadows, the game looks so real. Multiple times while I was playing, I wished I could be in the game because it looks so peaceful. Well, peaceful when you're not violently killing groups of invaders. Now let's get into the story. The game is based off of a real historical event. The Mongol invasion took place from 12,074 to 12,081. But that doesn't mean Sucker Punch didn't take some creative liberties with the story. The game starts off with our main character Jin Sakai as he defends the island with his uncle Lord Shimura. Unfortunately for them, they get absolutely wiped out. Jin gets severely injured, a good chunk of the existing samurai that he was part of gets killed during the encounter, and Shimura gets imprisoned by the Mongols' leader Khotan Khan. But luckily for Jin, he gets rescued by a thief named Yuna. Yuna is able to stitch Jin up and he tries to go rescue Lord Shimura. One thing I really love about this game is the genuine character development with Jin. As Jin slowly makes his way through Khotan Khan's castle, Yuna teaches him how to stealthily kill an enemy. At first, Jin rejects the idea since samurai aren't supposed to kill that way. He then comes to realize that he will have to bend his code a bit to save his uncle. It doesn't stop here either. As you keep progressing through the game, Jin continuously turns his back on the samurai code just to help people. And it feels real here. It feels like he knows it's wrong, but he doesn't have many other choices. After we make our way through the castle, we have a showdown with Khotan Khan. We're able to best him in combat and put an end to his terror and save Tsushima. Just kidding, we get beaten then tossed off of a bridge. As someone studying to be an EMT, he should have died multiple times in this game. After almost getting killed, Jin figures he needs to build a small army to rescue Lord Shimura. After completing some side missions to recruit some people to our army, we have enough people to help rescue Shimura. So we raid the castle for a second time and are able to rescue Lord Shimura. With Jin's uncle rescued, we craft a plan to reclaim Lord Shimura's old castle. This is where some tension starts to build, because Shimura notices that Jin is not following the code. Jin tries to defend himself by saying it was the only way he could save him from Khotan Khan. After a little while later, we attempt to reclaim our uncle's castle but ultimately fail because the main bridge had been rigged with explosives. Lord Shimura says that we should rebuild the bridge and continue our attack on the Mongols, but Jin suggests that we could easily poison the enemy's drinking water. Wait, is Jin poisoning the water supposed to be a Jim Jones reference? And who left this glass of Kool-Aid in my room? After Jin presents his plan to Shimura, he scolds Jin for continuously going against the code he swore to follow.
Everything I knew to save our people. I gave them hope. You did nothing.
My dad did the same thing to me. Good times. Late at night, we sneak across the broken bridge and manage to slip some poison into the water supply and subsequently kill the Mongols who occupied the castle. The cutscene after this is genuinely one of my favorite parts of this game. After Shimura finds out what Jin's done, he tries to convince him that the only way he can come back to being an honorable samurai is to claim that Yuna brainwashed him into doing these horrible things. Jin ultimately decides to take responsibility for his actions and give one of the coolest lines in the entire game.
I am not your son. I am the ghost.
Since Jin fully accepts his role as the ghost, he is captured in Shimura's castle. That is until we learn that Khotan Khan has moved locations and Yuna plans to kill him herself. During the journey to try to find Yuna, Jin gets poisoned by a group of Mongols and gets rescued by Yuna again. Maybe the cure for poison is Tylenol. I'm gonna speed up the story a bit here because I'd like to get into the gameplay. After finding a place to stay in a temple, we meet up with the people we recruited earlier in the game to track down Khotan Khan. Jin sneaks back into Shimura's castle to leave a note that details our plan to kill Khotan Khan and that he is welcome to lend his aid to the cause. We later find Khotan Khan trying to escape on a boat, we do a little stabby and Khotan Khan is finally stopped. After that, we are challenged to an epic anime sword battle with Lord Shimura. Once you beat Lord Shimura in battle, you get the choice of honoring Shimura's final request and killing him, or salvaging the only family you have left and letting him live. Whichever choice you make, it doesn't affect any of the post-game. Overall, Ghost of Tsushima has a pretty solid story. It was filled with plenty of action and heartbreaking moments that form a very well-rounded experience. Honestly, you could take the plot from the game and form it into a movie and it would still be really good. Like I detailed earlier, this game has some really good character development with Jin Sakai. It all feels real and well-rounded, and I really appreciate that. Other characters like Yuna and Kenji were pretty good too. With all the story out of the way, let's talk about some gameplay. The sword battles feel pretty good. There have been a few times where I felt unfairly killed because I missed an attack, but those really don't happen a lot. You're also equipped with plenty of weapons like smoke bombs or literal explosive arrows. Yeah, this game is pretty ruthless. One thing that makes the collection aspect of this game really easy is the fact that when you want to pick up an item, you can just walk near it and press a shoulder button and collect it. It makes the gameplay flow a bit faster since you don't have to completely stop what you're doing just to pick up a couple of items. All the items you collect can be used to upgrade your sword and armor. Upgrading your armor will be a big help since all of your armor have some sort of perks. Some armor can increase the amount of damage you deal and reduce the amount of damage you take. The game has plenty of things called charms that give you other kind of buffs, such as healing an extra amount or a chance for your attacks to deal double damage. One mechanic that I really love is that you can make armor sets with certain charms attached to them. That way you can equip a set of armor with different charms so you don't have to manually change them. A good way to get all these upgrades and charms is to complete side quests. And let me tell you, this game has a lot of side quests. I'm not upset by that either, since completing side quests get you a lot of ghost points which you can use to upgrade your ghost weapons and skills. If you wanted to fully complete this game, it would take you a long time since there's so much content. I am more than confident in saying that completing a bunch of side quests would get boring and repetitive after a little while. Most side quests consist of talking to someone, killing a bunch of Mongols, going to talk to someone again, blah blah blah. I'm not saying that this is necessarily bad, just if you are grinding a lot of side quests, this would get old fast. But that's just in the context of a player grinding out all of the side quests. If you occasionally come back to Ghost of Tsushima, there's usually something that you can be doing. So gameplay wise, I think Ghost of Tsushima is really well done. There could be a few tweaks here and there, but you can really tell Sucker Punch tried. Another thing you can really tell they tried to do well was the music and atmosphere. Both of those are very well done. Sounds like birds chirping and waterfalls are very relaxing to listen to as you wander around Tsushima Island. The music is really well done too. There's a lot of relaxing and high-tense music to go along with the situation. Ghost of Tsushima is just a really well-polished game and I love so many things about it. Every couple months, I'll play this game non-stop for a few days and I never regret any of my time spent playing this game. If my ancestors could see me now, they would be so disappointed. I would highly recommend this game to anyone who has a PS5. Unless if all you have is a PS3, I heard Green Lantern exists. So if you're looking for a game all about collecting items and listening to relaxing music, well, I'm pretty sure you just asked for Animal Crossing.